Welcome back, guys. I think it's time to animate today. If you've watched my last video, you learned how to create this user interface with HTML and CSS, and today it's basically time to animate this. Once again, credits to Adrian for his design. This is basically what we based this project off of. And he also created this shot with the interactions and the animations. I really like this one, but I'm not sure if we're going to create exactly what he does here. I think we'll kind of go our own way with this. Yeah, let's start. Basically, we have to first of all, include a few scripts. So I went ahead in our directory and created this JavaScript folder, and inside of it we have a file called Animation.js, which you can see in here. No worries, I'll delete all of that. I just played around with it a little bit, so I get an idea of what we can do, but we'll start from scratch, or well, we'll start simply with this plain HTML and CSS design, and that's it. So the tool we are going to use today is called Anime.js. It's a JavaScript animation library made by Julien Garnier. Check him out as well. He does some really cool stuff. This is his website. It's just so gorgeous. I love it. Definitely check that out, and you can also look into the documentation if you want to. It's just beautiful. Just look at this. But yeah, it's a really fancy animation library. I really like it. It's really simple and lightweight also. So really nice for projects like these. This is what we're going to use. What you can do is simply Google for Anime.js CDN. Just head over to CDN.js and copy this link right here, and it will give you this CDN link. Just include it into your index.html. Make sure to, if you put your script tags into the head, to write this defer tag with it, because that makes sure that the DOM is loaded before the script is executed. And after you've included Anime.js, you can go ahead and include your actual script. Alright, let me just clean up the CSS real quick. I messed with that as well, just a little bit. And same thing for this one. Alright, so now we can start. Also, a few of you noticed that, or commented that the audio quality is not optimal. And I know that. I'm trying to work on it. Maybe I'll get a new mic or something. But yeah, for now, we'll have to deal with it. I'll try to speak up a little bit. It's just, when I'm in the process of actually making the site or the app, I tend to forget that I'm actually recording and kind of just talking to myself. But yeah, I'll try to work on that. Otherwise, if you have any kind of suggestions or questions, leave them in the comments, and I'll answer. And okay, let's start then. The idea is, if you look at his, give me a second. Yes, if you look at this dribble shot, you can see that he starts the transition by clicking on the little cover image, right? That's something we won't do. Instead, we will just have kind of a placeholder page with a simple button, and we'll click on it, and that's when the animation starts. And yes, I'll show you how to build this little kind of placeholder page. We can call it start, and inside start we can just include a little button, which can also be our play button, which we already used. If that doesn't make sense to you, I'll show it to you in a second. It also needs a second class. Start button makes sense. Save that. Nothing happens, of course. Let's see. Call this start page and .start. It will be a height of 100 report height units with 100 report width units, and because we wanted to cover the whole page, of course, or the whole screen rather, and it needs a background color, simple white, and we'll extend it with a class of .flexCenter, which is this class which basically centers everything inside the start element. That means our button will be centered. What we still have to do is give it a z-index of, let's say, 100, so it sits on top of the other pages, and you can already see what happens here. Position it absolute, because otherwise the tab bar will be visible, and you can already see the icon down here, but the problem is that it's not centered. That's because it's positioned absolutely normally, but since we have this other class, we can say start button position relative, and that's it. This is the page we're kind of working off of, because yeah, we need something in front of our actual page to make this transition. The idea is to click on it, and then basically just like in the shot, we click on this cover and our page comes into view. We have to write some JavaScript for that, of course. So let's start by giving it document.add event listener. A event listener of, I'm writing ES6, I'm not using any kind of jQuery because we really don't need it for that little bit of JavaScript. So the event listener we're looking for is DOM content loaded, so the DOM is loaded before the code is executed. And then we want to run this arrow function. It's just like a shortcut for, or a shorthand for the normal function. Let's try logging something. Boom, works, cool. So what we can do is select our button. Using query selector, of course. Using query selector with .start button, and what we want to do is start button .add event listener again, this time on click, of course, and we'll run this arrow function again. This arrow function should first of all log something. Click. Let's try that. Click. Works. So next thing, what we actually want to do is hide the start page when the button is clicked. So what we'll do is select the start page. Start page equals same thing again. This time it's just dot start, which is the start page, right? And what we'll do is start page dot class list dot add height start. That's what we'll call it, and that's already it. Now we need to define this class dot height start. We'll simply set the start page to display none. This will remove it from our view, basically. Let's check if that works. Boom, works. Again, the start page is there. We click on the play button and our actual page comes into view. And now it's about animating this thing. So this is where Anime.js comes into play. So there's another thing we want to do. As soon as we click the start button, which can also of course be some kind of cover from a list or something, you know. I think you understand the concept. We want to call a function, let's say animate view. We want to call this function, and let's define it. Animate view. Now that's where the magic comes in, and that's why I love Anime.js so much. Let's start with something simple. What we can, for example, do, and guys, keep in mind, I'm also just trying out, looking what works and what doesn't. Yeah, it might take some fiddling around, but I think it's a good thing that you also understand the process of everything, because usually it's not like typing something out and it like magically works, because we often have to tweak stuff. And that's what I will also show you. Okay, let's start by simply animating the, where is it? The header. The header with the movie cover, okay? What we'll do is we'll write animate and animate object. And well, it's really simple. You have like key value pairs, kind of. I don't know. I don't think they're called like that, or I don't think they're called key value pairs. But it's basically you write targets, and then you can use a simple CSS selector to select the element that you want to actually animate. In this case, that's our header. So we'll just write header, because we only have one header element in our HTML. That's totally fine. Next up is, yeah, we can just start by animating the scale of it. And what we can do here is use square brackets and write 0, 1, and that's it. That will basically animate the header element from scale of 0 to 1. Let's see if that works. There we go. Actually, let's quickly fix this play button here. I don't know why it's messed up. Yeah, it needs to be right 30 pixels. Okay. So you could already see the animation here. Whoa, that's not centered anymore. Why is that? Oh, now I see. I think that is it. Cool. Yeah, you can see how the how this header is kind of jumping towards us. That's basically animating the scale, and also it has this bounce effect on it. But I do not like that, especially in this context. I think something sleek and nice would look much better. So another feature of Anime.js is the different easing options, and honestly, this is like my favorite feature of it, because otherwise I could also simply use like simple CSS3 animations, but these easing options really are the game changer for me. For example, one of my favorites is called ease out expo, and yeah, setting ease out expo basically makes it start really quickly and then slow it down towards the end. And I think it looks really nice. Maybe 0 to 1 is quite a bit too much. Say 0.7 to 1 maybe. That's probably better. The next property we can animate is opacity from 0 to 1. So we'll make it fade in. Nice. Set it to 0.5. Cool. Next thing will be, let's see. Okay. Okay. The next element we'll animate is the elements inside the header. That's this back icon, the title, the rating, and the play button. And I've already got an idea for that. Let's see, targets. Let's just try if that works. Header and div. This will select every div element inside the header. So basically those. And what we want to do with them is translate them X, or translate them on the X from again, square brackets means from to, and let's go with minus 100 viewport width units to 0 viewport width units. The minus 100 viewport width units basically makes sure that the elements are really out of view when they're animated in. Because if we set a pixel value and the screen is actually wider than the pixel value, it will be visible when we load the page. And that's not nice. That's not something we want. So this really solves this problem. Don't forget the comma at the end. And Then set the easing to ease out expo again. Let's check this out. Okay, this is kind of what we want, right? You know what, guys? I think our little placeholder page will be a little annoying during development. So what I'll do is just comment it out for now. Oh, well, wait a second, like that. Okay, just comment it out for now. So we can. Oh, that's the reason. Sorry, guys. Okay. Comment it out for now because otherwise we'll have to click on it every time we do a little adjustment, and it's just annoying and time consuming. So of course it throws an error because it can't select it in the JavaScript here, but for now that doesn't matter. Okay. Let's check it out again. Oh, of course, our animation also doesn't work like that. So what we'll have to do is copy this stuff, just move it out of the function, I think. It still doesn't work. Of course it doesn't work because it won't execute until there. We'll just leave it like that, okay? And at the end, we'll adjust everything. Okay. So this is where we are at right now. There are a few things we have to adjust. First of all, let's change the play button animation, because it's like the main kind of call to action, or the main action, just generally the main action, you know. And yeah, it's not a good idea to animate them just like every other element. Why doesn't it work again? Oh, of course. Okay. Select it with the CSS selector. And use the right easing option again. And what I'll try is scale. Let's see if this works. From large to small. And from opacity 0 to 1. Let's remove this one for a second. And of course we have to add some delay to it, because we want this to happen after the cover has animated. So let's check it again. Let's go bigger on that. Now that looks kind of cool. Maybe 3 is a bit too much. Okay. Another thing we can do is maybe play button, and then create another one, play button, SVG, and give this one more delay. What this will do is, first of all, animate the button, and afterwards the SVG, which will maybe give it a cool effect. Let's just try it. No, that doesn't look too cool, gotta say. But another thing might look pretty interesting. Something else you can do in Anime.js is to say one turn. You can say one turn to turn it 360 degrees, basically. Ooh, that looks cool. Let's see. 0.5. Oops, that's the other way around. That's not what we want. Let's stick in one turn. Let's. I like 0.3. You know, you can already see it's a lot of adjusting. Let's turn off that sound. Let's see what can we do about it. Give it some more delay, maybe. Okay, that looks cool. I'm happy with that. But I'm not yet happy with the color. Let's see. Okay. Now what we also want to animate, of course, is the title play wrapper. Wait, title play wrapper? Oh, okay. Let's select the title wrapper first. Title wrapper H1. To only animate the heading, the actual heading. And okay, that should work already. Of course, it needs some delay again. Whoop. Okay. I want the actual play button to animate in later, so it kind of draws the attention of the user to the button once every other element is loaded. So we'll have to adjust the delays, just something like that, okay? Now another cool effect for the rating would be to animate them in with a delay or something. And we'll play around with that. But every time you have multiple elements which are basically of the same group, delay usually works really well. And I'll show you a trick for that in Anime.js. So, next anime object will be targets dot rating SVG. So we select each SVG, like each SVG star in there. And this will give us an array. And with an array, we can do some cool things. So using and Let's try this one again. With -20 to 0. And wait, let's look at this. Okay, so we basically need, definitely need some delay on it, otherwise we can't even see the animation. Okay. Opacity is what's missing. Let's see. Well, it's not working. Why is that? Oh. Okay, you can already kind of see it, right? What we will do there is now work with a delay function. So inside delay, we can put this arrow function, which will return, for example, 500 plus 100 times I, and I, we have to pass in these parameters. And what this will do is use 500 as kind of the base delay and add 100 to it depending on which element we are working with. And this is the effect we'll get. You see? Looks pretty cool. But I think for a rating we can do something better. Instead of like translating, can maybe do y minus 10. Let's check that out. Ooh, that looks cool. Um, 20 maybe? Yeah, that looks nice. I have to say I like that. That looks cool. Another thing for the title wrapper, I don't like that it slides out from the complete, like from outside the view. I think that looks weird in this context. We can do something more subtle with just maybe 50 pixels and also using opacity. Let's see, 0 to 1. Yeah, of course, some more. 100. Okay. Let's take some less for this rating. Okay. I think for now we'll not animate the back button. I think it's okay if we just leave that. Or actually, no, I have a good idea for that. Really simple, actually. I'll just write it out. Targets. Let's see. Dot back wrapper. Let's see if I could type. It would be a lot easier. Okay. Easing will be the lovely ease out expo. And yes, we want to translate it X, and we want to translate it from, let's say, 50 to 0, which should make it slide from right to left. but I'm not sure. Yeah, it should. And it does, and we could see it. We add some delay and opacity 0 to 1. Nice. Maybe that's a bit too much. Still. Yeah, this is cool. Okay. Of course, guys, there are so many options in animating this UI, and I don't know, if you guys came up with something really nice, make sure to share it with us. I'd love to see them. But this is just one option, and I'll just go with it now. Let's continue. All right. Okay, maybe we should make those animations, or at least the rating one, a little more subtle, because I think there's too much going on at the moment. Yes, that's better. Let's maybe also the play button delay. Let's see how much. 200 only on the title. So let's try 200 on. Okay. Oh, that was the play button. God. No, what we wanted to adjust was, wait a second. What we wanted to adjust was, the back button. That's the back wrapper right there. Check that out. Yeah, okay, I think that's better. Maybe use some more translate X. Yeah, that looks cleaner to me. Okay. Let's think about what we'll do with those details. I think, like, generally the content should load with a little of with some delay after the cover has loaded, because that just makes sense from a hierarchy standpoint also, I think, at least. Okay, I quickly need to check something in the documentations, so bear with me for a second. Let's see, where is that? Okay. Alright, simple as that. That is good. So what I want to do is create a content timeline. And this timeline will be equal to anime.timeline, just like that. Oh, I need it again. Okay. The timeline is basically helpful when you want to just give me a second here. Okay, it's basically helpful when you want to when you want to kind of time, it's a timeline. It's helpful for timing different animations after each other, for example. And I actually think we could have used a timeline here as well, but let's just leave it as it is right now. Inside the anime.timeline, we can set properties that will be valid for every .add we write here, no matter the target. So what we can do is set our easing, because that's something that will be consistent throughout every animation. And I guess that's it for now. Let's start targets. Dot detail. Dot details probably what we want to target. Let's try dot detail, and yes, I have this idea, dot detail, and then span, translate y from -10 to 0. You probably already know what this will look like. What? Oh my god. I just wrote ease out expo, ease out. I wrote ease out expo, which makes absolutely no sense. But I think now it should work. Kind of, yeah, okay. Let's see. Let's increase that value. Okay, that's negative. Also need, actually, let's just copy that, like that. Okay, let's use less. Okay, 20 is definitely not enough. Let's stick with 40. And let's go and create this arrow function again. I think we can leave out the return and just write it like that. Element, iterator, and let's try simply 100 times I. Yep, this does work because that's the shorthand of the shorthand basically, and the return keyword is already in there. Yes, I do like that. Let's use some adjustments here. Okay. Yeah. Let's go on. Looks pretty cool already, gotta say. Let's go on with the gallery. So targets and we'll say dot gallery and image to select every image inside the gallery. For this one, I'd try translate x from -50 to 0 maybe. Opacity 0 to 1. Let's check. Okay. Delay. Arrow function all the way again. Okay. That looks cool. The problem is, because we're using a timeline, you can see how long it takes for the gallery to load. And I don't like that. That's because it waits for this animation to finish, because it's also part of the timeline. So maybe we don't need a timeline at all. But that's not a problem. We'll leave the timeline as it is for now. Whoa. We need ease out expo, of course. Maybe give it some delay. Like 300. I think it's too much. I think with this animation, we're drawing too much attention to the images. That's not good. So what we can simply do is use something less attention drawing. I think 50 was alright. Yeah, it looks pretty good. You know, I like this kind of stack effect that it creates. Let me think. Actually, we could do something else here. Yeah, I think that's a cool idea. Rotate. Maybe from, let's try if that works, 50 degrees to 0 degrees. I don't know if that works like that. Yes, actually it does. Now I don't really like this. I think we can do some adjustments. There is this CSS property called, let me think, animation something, I guess. Let's see, animation. Origin. Animation origin. Origin? No. Okay. So it's not origin. Let's just try to work with that then. Actually, that's cool. Well, the problem is that it's cut off because our gallery has overflow hidden to make it scrollable, or overflow scroll to make it scrollable, basically. The problem is that we can also see this in this animation. So what we can do, and that's a cool little trick I'll show you guys, is come on. I need to remember this JavaScript function. Oh man. JavaScript delay. Yes, right. That was it. Okay, I'm sorry guys. Set timeout and arrow function again. And here we can set the delay until this function is called. And this function will select, or we have to first select gallery with document.querySelect, oops, not question, query selector dot gallery, and take gallery dot class list dot add, and let's just call this class overflow. That should do the trick. And what we'll now do is define this overflow class, which will set overflow x to scroll, but only after this amount of time. So let's see if that works. Saw that? Our image is not cut off until the animation is finished. Well, but somehow our tab bar is being removed by that. Huh. That is weird. Huh. That is super weird. Let's see what we can do there. Why is it being... I mean, it's not such a big deal because we're probably animated as well. Let's try a simple animation for it. Maybe that fixes it. Targets will be, where have we defined our tab bar? It's navigation, okay. Nav. And what I'll do is translate y from 100 to 0 with our easing again. And what we'll need is, yeah, I think that's it. Let's see. Hey, I don't understand. When did this even happen? You guys probably noticed that, and I didn't. That is great. So let's do some debugging. Like this, it's completely gone like this. Ah, oh. Ah, now I think I got it. It's probably since we did that, right? See, let's see. Oh man. Yes. Okay, now why is that? I don't get it. Like, why does it? Okay. That's so weird. Let's try hard coding it. $340. Okay. Now, if we remove that, still happening. Yeah, okay, it makes sense because it actually, yeah, it does make sense. Because it's not cutting off the content at 340 pixel, that makes the page basically scrollable. And when it's scrollable, this tab bar also expands with it because it's set to 100 viewport width units, I think. And that's the reason probably. So what we'll do is, I think, just leave it out for now. I mean, we could fix it somehow, I'm sure, but I think that will take too much time. Let's just delete that. Let's delete the timeout, but I think you guys still learned something about timeout, which is cool. Yes. We can, of course, also set the duration, which is what I want for the tab bar. Okay. Cool. So next up is basically the text, which is not that difficult. We'll just copy this and we'll do .inf wrapper. .inf wrapper and span. Or, okay, let's try that. We'll do translate X for it. We'll take minus 200 to 0. I think that was what it said before. And okay, let's check. Weird. Okay, let's take the span out. Alright. Let's add some delay. Arrow function again. 200 No, let's go with 100 and stay consistent. Oh, I forgot the parameters. All right, we also need opacity from 0 to 1 as always. That looks good to me, but I would like, okay, I'd like to have the title and the actual information to have some delay as well, like that. You see? Maybe not make this too intense. It's still quite a lot. This is better. Let's try 30. Okay. I think 50 was better. Yes, let's use some. Whoa. Okay. The last thing is the paragraph. You can do dots int wrapper p. I think that should work. Yep. And it should have some base delay. Well, we're not going to see that animation anyway, mostly, unless we scroll right away. Yeah, let's check it out again. Let's check out this animation. It's basically built. Okay, first of all, I don't like the navigation animation. I think it's way too much. Because, I mean, this is just practice, but in reality, I think even this would be way too much to use in an application. Because, yeah, I think it's just way too heavy. But still, it's a great practice and it's great for learning, for example, Anime.js or web animations in general, and just playing around with them. And also, it's a lot of fun. But yeah, we have to keep in mind that we can definitely adjust some things to make it a little more subtle, everything. So I think first of all, we don't really need the rotation on the images. It's just not necessary, I think. Let's check it. Yeah. That streamlines it already. Some more. Let's actually now put in the start page again, so we can kind of get a feel for how this would be in an application. So we put our animations back into the animate view function, like that. Boom, that's how it goes. So you click on the cover and that's how it transitions in. I actually think it looks pretty nice. It looks good, I like it. Let's see, is there anything else we can do? Yes, I think we could do something with the buy icon. Maybe we can try to implement some kind of little jump animation for it. Let's try that. All right, target. It's .buy button. Buy button for sure. Buy button. Let's try translate Y from the top to the bottom. So 100 to 0. Let's just try that. Yes. It looks really cool in my opinion because we're using the different easing function, which is this kind of bounce, and I think it looks pretty good. We can add some delay and maybe some duration, like 1000 milliseconds is the default value, so I'm making it longer here. Yes, I think that's cool because it puts emphasis on both the buy icon but also the play button. I think this looks good. I don't know, maybe let's try the other easing function because it looks a little childish to me, especially if we have ease out expo and all the other elements. Of course, it should be quicker with this function. Maybe if we use a larger value there. Okay, let's just set the duration to like 500. That's not what I want. I think that looks alright. But you know what? I think it was better without that. Whoop. Whoa, oh. I think I like it. Yes, okay. I guess that's it for today, guys. If you liked it, leave a thumbs up, subscribe for more content. I'm actually planning on doing either a gorgeous to-do list, which will actually be functional, so a lot of JavaScript involved in that. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned for that. Or I'll do something with a Chrome extension, which is also really fun. And I'll look into both of them and I'll see which one I'll decide on. But if you want to see a particular video, just leave a suggestion in the video, in the comment section, and I think about it. But yeah, that's it for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!